What is up, everybody? Welcome to another fresh take. Vicky, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you this morning?
Doing pretty good. So today we have another twofer. Um, we got Kenobi, episode 4, and we also have Miss Marvel, episode 1. So first off, Kenobi, because that's the short episode. I think it was only like 39 minutes. Um, it basically picks up right where 3 left off, with Kenobi in an actual back to tank, getting those burns healed. And Leia is now in the fortress, the Inquisitor fortress, with Reva, the third sister.
Yo, Reva is wild. Yes, psychological warfare on this child. I'm
But
like,
the
she,
child giving it back to her though.
I don't even. I'm like, wow. And it is funny how she tried to like use the force on her, and it was like, nah, she, she a Skywalker. You just don't
Yeah,
know. Your boss
that's what I'm
right
saying.
to kill you. That's his daughter. You just don't know that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, shouldn't she have known something was up after that didn't work? When
The
she was
amount
like,
of
"Is this a-"
strength in this child.
yeah, she was like, "Is this a staring contest?" That was funny. That was funny
Hmm.
because at that point you can see Reva like, "I know good and well this little heifer," you know.
Yeah, like that alone should be like, hmm, maybe we shouldn't try to kill the kid because she didn't give in. Maybe should keep her and train her and flip her to our side.
Yeah. Well, the thing she tried, like, I will give Reva this because the whole bulk of the episode, the majority of the episode is that confrontation, battle of wits with a grown woman and a 10-year old. But it was funny because you would think, like, at some point, Reva would have thought of that. She was like, something ain't normal with this kid. This kid ain't
Hmm.
normal. But she's still on her pissed off. I'm gonna get recognition one way or another, laser focused ideal that she has going on here. Um, and to be honest, that back and forth is actually pretty good. Now, this episode is also a very intense episode, but this is intense on the, are they really finna kill um, this girl
This
that the
child,
lady that's helping Obi-Wan? It was like three times in that episode. I'm like, they finna kill. She's not getting out of this. She's not getting out, and she'd find a way out of it.
I know. It
Uh,
was like, well, somehow she gets out because we see her in episodes, in the other episodes. So we know
yeah,
she survives this. That's the only reason. It's like it's the reverse of Rogue One. With Rogue One, you forgot that everybody about to die.
yeah, yeah.
Like you forgot. Oh no, nobody's gonna survive this. In this
And
one, you're like, wait. No. She's going to survive this.
yeah.
It's like the reverse. Like I
Well,
completely forgot. Rogue One, I completely forgot. Like, oh shoot, wait, none of them are going to live.
yeah, none of them are gonna live.
And it was like near the very end. I was like, oh, like it broke your heart. You're like, no, I wanted somebody. No,
Nope.
okay.
Well, the good thing we do get another cool cameo. Ice Cube's son is in this episode.
And
O'Shea's
I
in this.
was like, wait.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what?
I'm
I
like,
am
okay.
enjoying his trajectory as an actor here and there, and I look forward to seeing like what he even does more and more. But
So
for him to pop up, I'm like, okay,
so he's officially in Star Wars. So you know what that means, Kevin Feige. Time to throw him in a Marvel movie.
yep. That's why he's making his way over. He's making his way
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
He's getting his way there. He's like, listen,
We're gonna put you in this, but next year you're gonna be all over here with us, all right? But yeah, his role is actually pretty interesting because apparently his wife was a Jedi and the Inquisitors found her, and pretty much
killed
they, yeah. So it's one of those situations where you're like, okay, yeah, we know the Empire is is full of it, but you're like, we didn't know y'all was doing it like that. Like people ain't even bother y'all. Like y'all won. I'm like, why are you still going at you won?
Yeah, you're purposely hunting down.
Yeah, people that you've already that ain't even doing it. But now that whole thing with the Underground Railroad. I mean the rebellion. Um,
Right?
which that's the other thing. Like I didn't understand why Reva was asking Leia about that. Like Leia wouldn't know anything about that.
Well, because she would just hope that in the brief moment that she was there, that she overheard or learned something
Yeah,
that would be enough for her to just get on the right,
yeah.
whatever.
I just thought it was weird because I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, that kid was being chased. When would she have time to even? And why you keep asking her?
Because kids overhear stuff when adults are talking because they disregard the kid, and that's all you need. That's all you need.
I guess. But the first 5 times she said that she didn't know what she was talking about, you would have thought that, like, all right, like she probably don't know what you're talking about.
Or she just flat out lying.
You would think that a 10-year-old would lie.
Lie like a rug.
Yep. Now, what did you think about what they found in the bottom of the fortress? Like, all those supposed Jedi. I didn't.
I'm like, so you just kept
The
their
bodies.
bodies frozen like that to look at? I mean, what purpose? And then you got the little kitty one. You got the little kid. What purpose does that serve for you to not only have the little kid, but they have all the other different species and whatever of Jedis? How sick in the head are you that you, like, at that point in time, that is a one step past a serial killer. Serial killer keeps trophies, usually like like they'll collect fingernails or pieces of clothing. You kept the whole person frozen in time of their death. You are not a serial killer anymore. You are a monster. You are a monster.
Well, I mean, it is Vader.
I know, but like we understood Vader. He got burnt up by somebody. He really, whatever. He went off the deep end. He thought he was protecting his family. He got all turned around and influenced and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. He was never what?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one thing to go on a mass killing spree. It's another thing to keep the bodies preserved for you to look at. That is something else. Okay.
I agree.
Killer, and then there's a monster.
Well, the thing that killed me was the kid, because the kid looked like the first kid he walked into the room with. We're like, wait a minute,
are you
kept the body?
Yeah, like this is something else happening here.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Vader, that's sick and disgusting. So, yeah.
Or, we're just assuming that.
It's Vader's. Vader's. I assume Vader would know about this because it's.
I'm not saying he doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
I'm saying, what if it's Reva's kills that she collects every time she kills a Jedi?
I would have thought that, except for that kid.
Well,
if they wouldn't have shown that kid, I would have
thought. What do you mean?
Huh?
That could have been her first kill when she was a kid.
Okay, maybe I don't know.
That would make it even more twisted if that becomes like, well, that was her first kill, and she had to turn on them.
Turn on them to keep herself alive, basically.
And then that's how she got in, into, like, how did they get her, who was on a Jedi path, to now be part of them in hunting down Jedis?
Yeah,
that could have been like, okay, kill your friends that you ran with.
That's some Lord of the Flies mess, but okay.
It is, because they had to do some type of psychological manipulation on their part to get her to be so far on their side.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though she watched, her people get slaughtered, she flipped
True.
to them anyway. So
You can't deny that.
something happened to that girl.
Yeah. There was also a couple of cool shots in here. One of them being, since they're underwater essentially, there's a cool shot with Obi-Wan and a glass breaking as he's getting shot at by stormtroopers, and it looks like he's getting his feel for the force back.
Yeah.
Which thankfully that came in handy, because the scene is actually pretty cool in my opinion. I liked it. I liked how it looked. He basically drowns a bunch of stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm. He's like holding the force of God knows how many pounds of pressure.
Yeah.
Water. Like that'll immediately crush you to nothing.
Which is exactly what it did. Because if I'm a stormtrooper and I see him doing that, I'm not opening the door.
Like, we can't go that way. You can't. You think y'all see the crack? You see him holding it. Do you think he's going to keep holding it for you?
And the other thing too is, it's not like they've never been around Force users. They're around Inquisitors who can use the Force, and they know it exists, so they know what he's doing. So if you're shooting at him and it's not working, close the door and just go around.
But, close the door and go around. Like, come on.
Yeah, but they had to run in there, so it makes for a pretty cool visual, though.
Seeing their bodies floating.
Yeah, I'm like, dumbasses.
Come on, y'all ain't. Oh.
Yeah, like they learned absolutely nothing. The action was good. The ending scene was actually pretty good. With them actually making the escape that I thought they weren't gonna make, to be honest, because they did a good job of making it where they kind of took a wrong turn and didn't have a way out. And like I said, the episode was very good as far as like intensity and you not knowing what's gonna happen or how they're gonna get out of a said situation. That being said, Vader does show up again in this episode, and boy, I thought he was about to kill Reva, because
he was big mad.
He was big mad. So they did make a little bit of a she did save herself by putting a tracker in Lulu, Leia's little droid, so they can track her. I don't know how I feel about that, because we only got 2 more episodes. So I don't know what the big climax is going to be. I don't think Kenobi and Vader are going to meet up again. I mean, I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah.
So would it be Kenobi versus Reva, or all the other 2 Inquisitors? I don't know.
I don't understand why they aren't. Why I would hope that they would take the fast track back to, was that Alderaan or whatever? Like, don't stop along the path. Don't press go. Don't, go straight there. There's no reason for you to go anywhere else.
Yeah, because they won't be able to, the Empire won't really be able to, go there at the moment, because if they do, that'll implicate them in kidnapping Leia.
Yeah, so it's like, go straight there. Like, there's no reason for you to go anywhere else.
Yeah. So, but we all know that. But we already know they're gonna go back to Tatooine.
Of course, they're gonna go. We bring all the people. Like, come
worst place to hide in the Star Wars universe, Tatooine.
Like, come on.
But overall, I enjoyed the episode, and there is one thing I do want to bring up. I don't understand this haterade that the show is getting, because most people are just saying it's trash, but they're not saying why they think it's trash. I'm thinking, to me, it's being consistent with the story they started in episode 1. I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those situations.
What are they? I don't understand. What are you even upset about?
Yeah, I'm thinking they're upset because of the whole Kenobi not being the master strategist badass he was in the Clone Wars. I'm like, dude, he's suffering from PTSD.
he done went through some things.
Yeah, like
He watched, you know, old girl die in his arms. Now he got to split up the kids. He had to do he had to go through some mess, and now he's basically
being forced back into it.
Yeah, and he knows a lot of his people have died.
Yeah,
Like,
so that's the thing I don't understand why people keep saying it's trash. I'm like, y'all need to explain why you think it's trash, because I'm like, they're following along what they're doing. They're being actually consistent. One thing the Book of Boba Fett was not. They're actually being consistent in this. Now, Book of Boba Fett, I can understand people saying that because it was wildly inconsistent, especially the first 5 episodes.
That was wild.
Yeah, that was wildly inconsistent. But this has been consistent with what they started. So I don't understand where all the haterade's coming from. Like I said, I'm enjoying it because they're actually showing like how that trauma and how that PTSD is affecting him. Because like you said, he basically had to fight his brother to the death almost, and he thought he killed him. His Anakin's wife dies in his arms. He has to separate the kids to keep them safe. Everybody he knows, and this all happens within the space of like 2 days. Mm-hmm. Everybody he knows and he's worked with is pretty much dead or in supreme hiding. They can't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
So
dead, missing, or both.
Yeah. And this has been going on for 10 years. So I'm not understanding it, but like I said, I've enjoyed it so far. I just don't know where they're going with it, and I kind of like that. And I have no idea because it makes stuff interesting. And they're doing a good job with the thing, because even like last week with the Vader pretty much roasting Kenobi alive, I'm like, dude, I know he's supposed to live because he's in A New Hope, but they had me worried for a second. Because I'm like, dude, this dude getting, and like they did a good job of making it pretty much a horror movie scene. All that whole sequence was a horror movie. Mm-hmm. And they made it where you're like, okay, how is he gonna get out of this? Because I know he got to live, but it ain't looking too good right now.
Not at all.
So yeah, I don't understand it, but I'm enjoying it myself. Any final thoughts on that one, Vicky?
No, I look forward to seeing what they got in store for us next.
Yeah. And like I said, that was episode 4. There's only 2 more episodes left because it's only supposed to be 6 episodes of this. So we shall see. Because next week should be the what did they call it? The penultimate episode, as it were. So we should see what happens with that. So the other show that came out on Wednesday is Ms. Marvel, the first episode of the new MCU series. This one follows Kamala Khan as she, it's kind of hard to describe this because I know the character, but I'm not familiar with her singular book. So I do know a little bit, but they did have to change her origin up. So the way they did this is, if you read the comics or seen any of the animated stuff, or even played Marvel's Avengers from Square Enix, she is an Inhuman. So in the comics, she's an Inhuman, but in this, they had to change that because the whole Inhuman thing just didn't work. If you've seen the show The Inhumans, you know it didn't work. So they pretty much changed all that, and they kind of made her ability on the cosmic side of things. And it's kind of like what they did with Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, where they made the 10 Rings a cosmic, made the 10 Rings cosmic. They gave her gauntlet, they made the gauntlet cosmic. So this is going to be interesting, but this is a very cool episode for a couple of reasons. One, you get a pretty good look at Kamala's daily life, which is actually pretty interesting. And if you love Scott Pilgrim, you're going to love this episode.
As a brown girl who was a Muslim living in Jersey City.
Yep. And completely engrossed in superhero culture. So much so to the point where she has her whole fan fiction, fan art. Her high school is kind of weird. But I guess that's how high school is now. Last time I was in high school was 98. So
it ain't look like the hood.
No, it didn't. But it's still a weird
suburban. And I drive driven through a lot of different parts of Jersey City. Maybe it's a part I've never driven through. Because I'm like, first of all, there should be way more cars. There should be no parking. No parking anywhere. But her house looked like a Jersey City house.
Well, her friend did bring up the parking thing in one scene so he does bring up the parking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I didn't see it. Like it looked like it was very like laid back and stuff. I don't know, but pretty much go through her. This whole episode is basically setting up her pretty much her daily life. She is a super fangirl for Captain Marvel. Uh, her parents are interesting because her dad and her brother. I love her dad and her brother. Her dad and her brother are hilarious. They're awesome.
Her dad is absolutely adorable.
Yeah, like he's awesome. The mother, on the other hand, she's cold blooded. Like seriously cold blooded. Like I was having flashbacks. Some of the stuff she was saying. But I'm like, okay, it's an interesting take, and I guess the father and the brother have to convince the mother a lot of times to like ease up on Kamala because
I mean, she's a Pakistani and Muslim mom. I think that was pretty. She played it pretty well.
Yes. Oh no. She's playing it perfectly. I'm just saying it was just bringing back flashbacks for me. But that being said, like the father and the brother, they're actually cool. Her best friend in this is I didn't know that. I guess he's made up for the series. I don't know because once again, I don't read that comic, so he's actually a pretty good character. They have some pretty decent characters in here. Now there is one part of the series that I actually like, the episode that I like, and that is the fact that like the stories in Ant-Man, you know how in Ant-Man Michael Pena had his little stories and they had little side bars for the stories and how they were set up and stuff. They do that with her imagination and how she plans things out. And I think that was a pretty good touch because I've been missing the whole stories thing. Because that's one of my favorite parts of Ant-Man is when Michael Pena breaks down his little stories of how you go from A to B when his A to B should have been a straight line and it goes all over the place. But her imagination, they do that with her imagination, and I think that's actually pretty cool, especially for a good visual for everything. What else? What else? They do lean a little heavy onto the con and cosplay culture a little bit, which actually is a lot of fun if you actually been to a con.
I thought it was interesting that she even had a boy as a best friend.
Really?
Yeah. For a Pakistani Muslim girl to have a Caucasian boy as a best friend.
Well, remember the mama don't like him. The daddy loves him. The mama don't like him.
I'm like, in what world is that happening? Now, if he was like a cousin, okay. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. That right there wasn't even realistic.
That wasn't realistic.
No, I was like,
but the dad loves him though. The dad loves him. The mother don't really care for him, but the dad loves him.
No, especially the dad. That don't.
That don't work. Okay.
No. You know it don't work.
I'm
for a Muslim girl to be friends with a Caucasian boy. In what world?
The MCU.
That's the only world it would be.
Yeah. So what would you like about the episode?
I like that it was like authentic in the family dynamics. You know, like the boy who gets away with everything, he can do anything. The girl, they're like, no, you can't do anything. You have to be very proper. You were supposed to grow up, be educated, and get married. You know, like I like that it stayed on par with that part. Um, and that she's just trying to break free. I thought it was interesting when she saw the bangle for the first time, and her mom was like, put that back. So it felt like the mom knew exactly what that was from the jump,
Mm-hmm.
and was like, put that up in the attic. Put that away. This is all junk. Put it away. So it feels like there might be a conversation that needs to happen about Nana and maybe some things that might have happened way back when.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too because I did notice that as well. Um, that the only problem that I really had with this episode, usually because these series are so short and on episodes, they're only going to be six for this one. They didn't set up a villain, and I don't know enough about her singular stuff to see
I think
who.
that's true.
Yeah, so because normally because Ms. Marvel is they usually have she's one of those characters that works best in a group like Young Avengers. What's the other one she was in? Champions. She works better like that. And the way the Disney Plus shows are being set up, you see a lot of the Young Avengers in the backgrounds of these episodes. This is the first one. No, this is the second one. I think that we actually have one of the Young Avengers actually at the forefront. Like the other one was Kate Bishop in Hawkeye, and it's
Yeah.
this one. And even with that one, they set up like some villains that they had to deal with. This one doesn't set that up, so I'm kind of worried that we're gonna have to have an episode where we hang with the villains, and that might throw the pacing off. That's the only thing I'm worried about because I'm like they really did not set up anything for that. It was
Maybe
pretty
the,
much
maybe the villain is the government agency that's now after her.
yeah. Well, yeah, because they did set that little
Because I
what,
mean,
2 minute post credit scene.
hmm
Yeah, so and I don't know who that is.
yeah. So
So
that could be that. Some listen. Sometimes the government is more than enough as the
yeah.
villain.
The
I
other
mean,
question,
you
the
saw like
other,
not. I mean, there was other stuff going on in Scarlet Witch and stuff like that, but
yeah,
like or WandaVision. I'm sorry. There's other stuff going on, but the government was a big factor in a lot of stuff that went astray.
went sideways basically. Now the other question I have is Brie Larson going to show up because Miss Marvel is supposed to show up in the Captain Marvel movie, the second Captain Marvel. She's supposed to show up in that. So the question is, does Brie Larson show up in this one? I would hope so, just to lend a little bit of authenticity of the whole Marvel name or whatever to it, let her have it or whatever. Because that was
Yeah.
like a cool little moment in the comics where she got the name. Where Carol actually said, "Yeah, you can use my old name," basically. Um, so that's going to be interesting. I would hope that they would have her in there. I mean, we didn't know that Wilson Fisk was in Hawkeye until episode 5.
That's
So, I mean,
true.
it's not like they can't keep a secret. I mean, Tom Holland is not in this series, so I'm gonna have to worry about it getting leaked. Um,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, I like the little changes that they made. I liked how they presented the character. I even liked how they did her powers. I know some people think that her powers are stretched or to stretch like Mr. Fantastic. That's not exactly the case. If you read the comics or play any of the games, her power is more like Luffy's from One Piece. That, or at least that's how she uses them. Um, to basically embiggen her body and give her durability and stuff like that. So I like the little changes that they made. I'm interested in seeing how she learns to use her powers because that's going to
Mm-hmm.
be interesting. Because the end of the episode ended with basically her realizing that I can control this. Because at the con that they had, the little Avenger con that they had, she didn't realize what was happening, and it kind of worked in her favor and kind of tore up the convention a little bit.
jacked up the convention.
Yeah, but everybody was loving it. So there's that. But yeah, I enjoyed the episode. Not bad for a first episode. Runs about 50 minutes, which is pretty much standard for the MCU stuff. To be fair, their first episodes are usually close to an hour as you can get. But 5 more episodes, we'll see where it goes. Final thoughts on it, Vicky?
No, I look forward to it. I look forward to maybe seeing some Jersey landmarks along the way or something. I don't know. It definitely was nothing Jersey identifying. So I look forward to seeing.
You were probably in Atlanta.
No, they were for sure in Georgia, but you better have a New Jersey Turnpike, Route 78, the Tunnelly Circle,
something,
a tunnel, Holland Tunnel, like something that is identifying of the area, and I ain't see that yet. Otherwise, she could be anywhere.
I mean, she's probably in Northeast Peachtree Street, right off of
like she could be anywhere but Jersey.
Yeah.
But Jersey City.
If anybody, for people that don't know, a lot of the Marvel stuff, including the TV shows, are shot in Atlanta. They just say they're shot. They take place other places.
Usually, they try to have something that is very identifying of New York or whatever. So you're like, okay. Or,
but the actual show is being shot in.
Oh yeah, no, they're never.
The only one that really wasn't with Hawkeye. Hawkeye was actually shot in New York. Hawkeye was shot in New York, but
a lot of times they're not shot on location, or they only do like 1 or 2 shots on location.
Yeah, so I just thought that was hilarious because I'm like, the little part of Jersey I've been to, I'm like, this don't look like Jersey, but I'm like, all right, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. I will go with it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think in the comments below about Ms. Marvel episode 1 and Kenobi episode 4. Before we get out of here, the Xbox Bethesda presentation is going down today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, and the Winging It podcast will be doing our podcast live reaction to that. That's going to be our episode for today. So please join us at around 12:45. We're probably going to go live with a little pregame, and then we're going to be watching the Xbox and Bethesda presentation. It's supposed to last an hour and a half, so letting you know ahead of time.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. Vicky, anything you want to pimp out?
Yeah, as always, swing on by the Fangirl Review YouTube and Twitch. There's usually something going on over there.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you guys didn't get a chance, are they going to be able to rewatch the BIPOC Streamer Awards on your channel?
The BIPOC Streamer Awards video will be up on the YouTube. We'll say by today, and it's available. The VOD is available on the Twitch stream currently.
Cool. So stop by and check that out. It was a great presentation last night. Please stop by and support. Yes. And
support.
Yep. And with that being said, I will see you guys back at 12:45. So
2 hours from now.
Yeah, 2 hours from now. Peace out, peeps.